General tranquility. Sandy Hook. Could it have been done? There are several obvious problems with trying to fake such an event. Let us look at them. Fake ID people. Now, to prevent reporters from noting that there is no backstory to individuals, people have to be put in place with detailed backgrounds. You cannot just drop people somewhere the day of the event. That means that some of the individuals, the living children, the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, and uncles, must be in place, going back for some of them 50+ years, meaning some of them would have had to have been put in place before 1962. To be in control of the situation at the time of the event, a certain number of officials have to also be fake ID people. We are talking about individuals at both the local and state levels: teachers, custodians, police officers, CSIs, corner staff, and others. That means some of them have to have children, parents, grandparents, uncles, and aunts. Again, they have to be in place, going back for some of them 50+ years. Now, these individuals all have to be absolutely zealously committed to the cause, which is hard to do for children. Given that this is, according to many low-thought individuals, a fake story, all of them have kept the secret for over a decade, and shall have to stay with this story for decades to come. Just as it took 50 years to get people in place, it will take until 2062 to withdraw them, if they are withdrawn. We are talking somewhere around 500 fake ID people. On the victim side, we are talking 20 children and 5 adults. Generally meaning 50 parents, 100 grandparents, 75 other relatives. So, 250 fake ID people. On the situational control side, we are talking at least 20 adults, which generally means at least 10 spouse-like individuals, at least 10 children, most of whom could have been born into place, 60 parents, 120 grandparents, 60 other relatives. So, 270 fake ID people. The matter of the bodies. There have to be bodies, all of which have to look enough like the planned for dead to not only fool the people who know them in town for the past decade plus, but to fool facial ID software, for photos of the bodies could get out. There are 2 ways of doing this. You kill the real people who have been playing the fake ID people. The children need not know this is going to happen, for they can be born into place for the future event. But it does mean that the real people playing the fake ID people, who are the parents, have to know they are sacrificing their children. You look around for the already dead and put them in place. Now this is, in one way, a relatively simple substitution. If the critical parts of the investigation team are made up of fake ID people, it is also relatively easy to pick up the 100 corpses needed. You need backup corpses, for errors and problems happen. You can do this in a few ways, starting for the adults as far forward as 2 years, because of facial and body lock-in as we age. You can scour the morgues of the world. This is likely to draw slight attention. You can scour the slums of the world, homeless camps, street people, and kidnap them. People disappear all the time from these places. Once you have them, you perform plastic surgery, and a few months later, kill them and freeze them. Which means, with your fake ID being victims, you actually do an event, but using your own people to kill your own people. You fake the event. To fake the event in under 10 minutes, given the placement of the defrosted, warmed, shot people in the proper clothes, etc., it is likely going to take at least 3 people per corpse. That is a lot of people to get in and out of the building both quickly and stealthily. The only way to do so is to have a tunnel under the school. That is the stealthy part. But where is the other end? Before the event pops off, you can have the people, living and dead, in the tunnel. After the event, the living go back to the tunnel. It looks like the tunnel is going to have to be a half-mile long for it to be hidden from the public, even today, which means it would have had to be in place shortly before or after the school was built. Before, the everyday people would notice the vibrations of the tunnel being built. The secret way in after the school is built, though the building plans could allow for one thing to look like one thing, but actually be another, which is another couple of hundred people needing to keep the secret. These are just the bare highlights of things that would have had to be done. The number of fake ID people and others working for whoever put this together. I have not gone over the cost because I do not have the information needed to calculate all of it. The degree of information I have and the first draft written was completed within 19 hours, which means anyone with half a brain could have figured this out within days of the event. Which means people who think this was a false flag are close to brain dead. Or they are forces in place at this moment that are more powerful than any known group or government in the world. And they have 100-year action plans. Sandy Hook would have had to have been one of them. Who knows what else has happened or shall happen in the future? Or, of course, that is not happening, for if it were, they would be in power by now. So, the only mystery for me is, given that for a false flag operation to work with fake dead kids, as noted earlier, several adults would have to be in on the plan, and the morons pushing this is real, directly or indirectly, implicated teachers, custodians, police officers, CSIs, corner staff, and others. So why did none of these real people sue? Sandy Hook and the thousands of other shootings have been generally one horrible event of a few minutes, by generally one irrational individual with a few guns. A 20-minute multi-phasic test online would have prevented most of them from purchasing a gun. If the purchase was made within a half year, perhaps longer before, the beginning of planning for the event. That is pretty much all that is needed to be done. Show seller legal ID, online multiphasic mental test. Review an online gun safety and general maintenance guide for each gun make and model. Then a test on that. If the gun is older than a certain age, a general safety and maintenance guide is shown. An online pre-registration form is required from both the seller and the purchaser. This starts a 48-hour criminal history check on both of them. The sell. Both are sent an email stating approval or not. Selling any gun without doing these steps carries 2 penalties: 1 year in prison and a $100,000 fine. Per gun, consecutive terms, whether the purchaser commits a crime or not. If the direct purchaser is a strawman and the seller has no reason to know the individual is acting as such, the strawman faces 3 years in prison and a $500,000 fine. If the direct purchaser is a strawman and the seller has good reason to know the individual is acting as such, the seller and strawman are both considered conspirators in illegal gun sales and face 5 years imprisonment and a $1 million fine. If a capital crime is committed by the purchaser, seller and strawman can both be considered conspirators in the event. You have to do similar steps to purchase a car and more to operate it. And for a driving license, a live driver's test is given. How many states require live loading, unloading, gun handling, and firing tests, with different tests and licenses per gun type? These are generally pistols, revolvers, rifles, shotguns, and carbines, with special licensing for submachine guns, assault rifles, machine guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, cannon, and other weapons.